Okay, so this is my hair right now. In approximately 4 hours, it won't be. And here's the thing that's making my hands shake as I'm recording this. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to look like. Because here's what I did. 3 days ago, I set up a table in downtown Portland with a simple sign. Pick my next hairstyle, I'll do whatever you choose. And I let complete strangers, people I'd never met, would probably never see again, decide everything. The cut, the color, the style, everything. I gave them cards with options. I gave them markers to write suggestions. I gave them complete and total control over something I've been growing out for 3 years. My mom thinks I've lost my mind. My best friend said, and I quote, "This is either going to be the best decision you've ever made or you're going to be wearing hats for 6 months." But you know what? I was so asterisk bored. I've had variations of the same hairstyle since high school. Same length, same color, same safe choice every single time I sat in that salon chair. And I realized, when was the last time I actually surprised myself? When was the last time I did something genuinely spontaneous, something where I couldn't control the outcome? So I'm doing this, and I'm bringing you along for every single moment. Let's see what strangers think I should look like. Day 1, 10 a.m. I'm standing on the corner of 23rd and Burnside with a folding table, a poster board, and a collection of hair magazines that I may have stolen from my dentist's office. The sign says, "Stranger decides my hair, vote now." And for the first 20 minutes, crickets. People walking by, glancing, clearly thinking I'm either selling something or having some kind of public breakdown. But then this elderly woman, had to be in her 70s, purple cardigan, walking a tiny dog, she stops. Looks at me, looks at my hair, looks at the sign. And she says, "Honey, are you serious?" And I said, "Completely serious." She stares at me for a solid 10 seconds. Then she picks up a marker and writes on my board, "Platinum Blonde, short, like that actress. What's her name? The one with the husband." I didn't ask which actress. I didn't ask which husband. She shuffled away looking incredibly pleased with herself, and just like that, I had my first vote. And then something magical happened. People started asterisk stopping. This college guy with a man bun looked at my hair, which, for context, is brown, straight, goes down to my mid-back, has literally zero personality, and he said, "You need a wolf cut. Like desperately. You're giving plays it safe. You should be giving might steal your boyfriend." I wrote it down. A woman in a business suit suggested a bob with bangs. Specifically said, "French girl energy. You need French girl energy." A little kid, couldn't have been more than 7, pointed at a picture in one of my magazines and yelled, "Rainbow hair, like a unicorn." His mom apologized. I wrote it down anyway. By hour 3, my poster board looked like a ransom note. Suggestions everywhere. Mullet business in front, party in back. Shave one side. Extensions to your waist. Go red. No, go black. Curtain bangs, with 3 exclamation points. And then this guy stopped. Mid-30s, tattoos down both arms, carrying a skateboard. He looked at my board, looked at me, and he said something that honestly made my stomach drop. "You're really going to do this, whatever wins." And I said, "That's the whole point." He nodded slowly. Then he picked up the marker and wrote in huge letters, "Trust the process." Didn't suggest a style, didn't vote, just wrote that and walked away. I thought about that for the rest of the day. By 6 p.m., I had collected votes from 127 people. 127 strangers had opinions about my hair. I took photos of everything. I tallied the results. And here's what won. Platinum blonde, shoulder length, lots of layers. And this is the part that made me need to sit down, a full set of bangs. The runner-up, a bright pink pixie cut. So honestly, I might have dodged a bullet, or maybe not. I genuinely don't know. But the votes were in. The people had spoken. And I had an appointment at a salon in exactly 72 hours. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept looking at the photos from the day. All these faces. All these strangers who took 30 seconds out of their lives to have an opinion about mine. And I started spiraling. Because, and maybe you felt this too, there's something vulnerable about changing your hair. It's not like trying on a new outfit you can take off if you don't like it. This is asterisk my face. This is what I see every morning. This is what everyone else sees when they look at me. What if I hated it? What if platinum blonde washed me out? What if the bangs made my face look rounder? What if I looked in the mirror after and didn't recognize myself? I called my sister at 2 a.m. She lives in Chicago, so it was 4 a.m. her time, and yes, she was furious. "Why are you calling me in the middle of the night about hair?" And I said, "Because I'm about to let 127 strangers permanently alter my appearance, and I think I might be having a breakdown." There was a long pause. Then she said something I didn't expect. "Good. Good," I repeated. "Yeah, good. Do you know how long you've been playing it safe? Do you know how many times I've watched you pick the easy option because you were afraid of standing out? This is the most interesting thing you've done in years. Don't back out now." She hung up. I just sat there in my dark apartment, staring at my reflection in the black screen of my TV. She was right, though. I've spent so much of my life trying not to make waves, trying not to be too much or too different, trying to blend in just enough that no one would have a reason to look too closely. And what had it got me? Safe hair, a safe job, a safe, predictable life that I could narrate in my sleep. The next morning, I woke up and looked at that poster board one more time. All those handwriting styles, all those different opinions. And I realized these people didn't know me. They weren't trying to make me fit into their idea of who I should be. They just saw potential. They saw possibility. Maybe that's what I'd been missing. I confirmed the salon appointment. The salon smelled like chemicals and expensive shampoo. My stylist's name was Jade. Jade had silver hair, about 15 piercings, and the kind of confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are. She looked at the photos I showed her, all the votes, all the suggestions, and she just grinned. "So strangers decided this?" "Completely. And you're actually doing it." "I'm actually doing it." She spun me around in the chair to face the mirror. "Last chance to back out." "Do it." The first cut is always the worst. You hear the scissors. And then you see this chunk of hair, asterisk your hair. Hair you've been growing. Hair you've gotten used to just fall past your face and land on the floor. And you can't take it back. Jade worked in sections. Snip, snip, snip. I watched in the mirror as my hair got shorter. And shorter. And shorter. 3 years of growth gone in about 45 minutes. "You good?" Jade asked. I couldn't speak. I just nodded. Then came the color. Here's what they don't tell you about going platinum blonde. It's an asterisk process. First, they have to strip all the color out of your hair. Bleach. It smells terrible and it burns a little, and you sit there for 40 minutes wondering if your hair is just going to dissolve off your head. I sat there under those heat lamps, wrapped in foils, looking like a deranged space alien, and I thought, this is insane. I am literally sitting here letting chemicals destroy my hair because people I met on a street corner told me to. But then Jade washed it out, and I saw it in the mirror, this pale, almost white blonde. My hair, my asterisk hair, looking like it belonged to someone completely different. "Holy shit," I whispered. "We're not done yet," Jade said. The cut came next. Layers, so many layers. She worked with this intense focus, checking angles, making sure everything fell right. And then the bangs. I haven't had bangs since I was 8 years old. I begged my mom for them, convinced they would make me look like my favorite character from some cartoon. They made me look like a mushroom. I swore I'd never have bangs again. But the strangers had voted. Snip, snip, snip. And then Jade stepped back. "Okay," she said. "Don't look yet, let me style it first." The blow dryer, the round brush. She worked the layers, made everything fall in this way that seemed effortless, but I knew I'd never be able to replicate at home. The bangs got swept to the side, just barely grazing my eyebrows. "Ready?" Jade asked. "Ready." She turned my chair around. I didn't recognize myself. I don't mean it looked bad. I mean I literally looked in that mirror and saw a stranger. The platinum blonde caught the light in a way my brown hair never did. The layers gave everything movement, personality. And the bangs somehow made my eyes look bigger, made my whole face look different. I looked interesting. For the first time in my life, I looked at my reflection and thought, that person looks like they have stories to tell. Jade was watching my face. So, I just started laughing. Not because it was funny, but because I didn't know what else to do with the feeling in my chest. It was excitement and terror and disbelief all mixed together. I love it, I said, and I meant it. Yeah, I really, really love it. Jade hugged me. This woman I'd known for 3 hours hugged me, and she said, "You look like yourself. Just the version of yourself you were too scared to be before." I paid. I left. And I walked back out onto those same streets where I'd set up my table 3 days before. And people looked at me. Not in a bad way, just, they noticed. I got a thumbs up from a guy on a bike. A woman in a coffee shop line said, "Your hair is gorgeous." A teenager asked me where I got it done. I felt visible in a way I never had before. That evening, I went back to the same corner, same spot where I'd set up my table, and some of the same people walked by, people from that day who had voted. The college guy with the man bun stopped dead in his tracks. "No way, you actually did it." I turned around so he could see the full effect. "The strangers have spoken," I said. He pulled out his phone. "I'm telling my girlfriend about this. She's going to lose her mind. Can I take a picture?" I said yes. The woman in the business suit, French girl energy woman, she walked by with groceries, did a double take and just yelled, "Yes," while pointing at me, didn't stop, just yelled and kept walking. And then that guy with the tattoos showed up. The trust the process guy. He was carrying the same skateboard, and he stopped right in front of me. Looked at my hair, looked at my face, and he smiled. "You trusted the process." "I trusted the process." "How do you feel?" "I feel like I did something real, like I actually chose to be brave instead of just thinking about it." He nodded. "That's what it looks like," and then he skated away. It's been 2 weeks now since the transformation. My mom eventually came around. She said, "Well, I don't understand it, but you seem happy, and I guess that's what matters." Which is mom speak for "I secretly love it but won't admit it yet." My friends had mixed reactions. Some loved it immediately. Some needed time to adjust. My best friend, the one who said I'd be wearing hats for 6 months, she said, "Okay, I was wrong. You look like someone I'd want to be friends with." I told her we're already friends. She said, "You know what I mean." Work was weird for a day. People kept doing double takes at my desk. But then everyone got used to it, and now it's just me. The hair itself, it's higher maintenance than I expected. Platinum blonde requires touch-ups. The bangs need constant trimming. I've had to completely relearn how to style my hair. Some mornings I look in the mirror and think, this is amazing. Some mornings I think, what have I done? But here's what I learned. I spent so long trying to control every outcome, trying to predict every result, trying to choose the safest option because at least I knew what I was getting. And in doing that, I forgot what it felt like to be surprised, to take a risk, to trust something other than my own overthinking brain. Those 127 strangers, they didn't know my insecurities. They didn't know my patterns. They just looked at me and saw possibility. They voted for a version of me that I'd been too scared to consider. And yeah, it's just hair. It'll grow. The color will fade. In 6 months, I could be right back where I started if I wanted. But I won't be, because I'm different now. Not because of the platinum blonde or the layers or the bangs. I'm different because I proved to myself that I could do something genuinely spontaneous. Something where I had no control over the outcome. And not only did I survive it, I actually thrived. So here's my challenge to you. Not about hair, necessarily, but about whatever you've been playing safe with, whatever you've been overthinking, whatever you've been too scared to try because you can't control exactly how it's going to turn out. What if you just Let go. What if you trusted the process? What if you asked strangers or friends or the universe or whatever? What if you opened yourself up to possibility instead of always choosing certainty? Maybe you'll hate the result. Maybe it'll be the best decision you ever made. Maybe it'll be somewhere in between. But at least you'll have done something real. I'm keeping the platinum blonde, by the way, at least for now. And if you see someone with a sign on a street corner asking you to vote on their next life decision, stop, vote, take the 30 seconds. You might change someone's life. You definitely changed mine. Thanks for listening, and trust the process.